Hello, everyone, and welcome into CrushTheStreet.com. I'm Kenneth Amaduri. Got a video interview today. I haven't done one of these in a couple interviews now, so I'm glad to get back to it. And new guests, two guests, the Crypto Bit Brothers, and they're cryptocurrency enthusiasts. Their popular YouTube channel, Rod and Ron. And they're on with me today, and we're going to be talking about cryptocurrency and this new monetary revolution. That's what we've been calling it here at Crush the Street. And really, you have the Sir Isaac Newtons, the Copernicuses, and just the Albert Einsteins working and focusing in this space now. And it's just such an exciting space to be in. So both of you, thanks for coming on the show with me today.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us. This is exciting.
Well, hey, you know, it's, and I kind of joked with you guys as we got on the call here, and no offense to you guys at all, but the cryptocurrency space, you know, a lot of people have been accused of just being a bunch of young guys, a bunch of millennials, and I want to give you guys some credit. You guys are some of, you know, older individuals. You're taking heart to cryptocurrency. You're not letting the trends pass you by, and in your one-word biography, you guys said you're retired. So that's pretty cool stuff. So let's start with Ron, Papa Ron. Give us a little introduction of yourself and how you got involved with Bitcoin.
Well, thank you. Appreciate you having us. Rod and I are brother-in-laws. I married Rod's sister, and
I'm a lot better looking.
We've just been connected for all these years. We're pretty close. And, you know, both of us have been self-employed our whole lives. And that kind of spurs on something within us to always be looking to turn a buck on things. And when we came across Bitcoin, and at first, you know, both of us just thought, you know, just another fiat. But as we got looking at it, we said, God, I think we can make some money here. So that kind of spurred us on and started delving into learning. And it was a big learning curve for us. I mean, just the terminology alone was so foreign to us. Prospered in it. We've made some good money already on some of these coins. It's been good.
It has. Ron called me. He said, hey, we need to look at this cryptocurrency. And he told me a little bit about it, but I was made by the computer thing, and I went, oh my hell, this is a dang Ponzi scheme, man. So, but I got on my computer and I started looking at it, and it started making sense. I said, I called Ron back and I said, okay, let's get it together. And he was talking about learning the new terminology. Hell, that was like learning a whole new language for me, man. I didn't know what was going on at all. But we learned, and we YouTube channels, and people started making some comments, and really made sense. You get more and more excited every time you're in it.
Sure.
Yeah, we're just on the cusp of this thing. It's been thrilling to see how this thing has even grown since we've been in it.
Oh yeah.
And the masses of people that have come in it, and all the questions people have. It's actually given us some real focus and purpose to focus on some, which has been this crypto stuff.
Yeah, we only been in it like 5-6 months, and not very long. And yet it's
been longer than that now. But
has it been longer than that? I don't know. All I know is exciting.
That is really exciting. You can tell that you know, the cryptocurrency has just, you know, lit up. It's gone viral, and it's one of those things that was very speculative, and it's still speculative in certain aspects of it. But in prior years, it hadn't proven itself. And one of the things that I've been saying here in 2016, 2017 is that it's solidifying itself now in the future, you know, entering some of these multi-billion-dollar corporations and just the infrastructure that's getting built out, especially when it comes to Bitcoin and Ethereum and some of these other ones. So I just interviewed Rick Rule, and he thinks cryptocurrency is interesting. he didn't give it the biggest endorsement ever. He said, be careful of the J curve. He says he's seen that a few times in the history of his investing career. Anytime you see something go like this, the backside of the J curve isn't as fun, and it looks the same. But I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I see where he's coming from on most investments and money type financial things. But relate this to the blockchain. And the blockchain is the glue that holds all these cryptos together. And the blockchain is not going away. It's increasing its use. There's news articles every day about companies that are taking on blockchain technology within their own company and industry. Crypto is just kind of I don't want to say a side thing of it, but blockchain is the focus here, and that's what's going to go, and crypto rides on that blockchain.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a J curve, and he knows more than I do. He's got a lot more experience, Rick does, but I think this is a little bit different. And back to your speculative comment, I think that's what's bringing people more into it, is they see the opportunity to maybe turn a buck or two. And especially in our country, in the United States here, it is real speculative. It's all speculation. But you go to places like Japan, and they've really got a process of getting it out there to assimilate into society where they can use it as a daily currency, some of these coins. Anyway, so it's just different right now, but it's still at the infancy, I believe.
Yeah, it is. We just barely scratching the surface. Like you alluded to earlier, we are just so right at the tip of the iceberg. I tell you, once this thing really hits, it's going, $4,800, $5,000 for Bitcoin is nothing what it's going to be. We are just riding, and talking about that J curve, you're right. But if you draw a line at the bottom of each one of Bitcoin, is always going up. You never see it going crashing. It's always got to correct itself. That's like any coin. And you never invest anything that you're not willing to lose, because it is gambling, kind of. But still, if you put a little money into it and think about what the platforms are and the blockchain that they're in, because you see it. And Ron's doing something really cool. He's into this, what do you call it?
Well, we've really been investigating this proof of stake.
Proof of stake, yeah.
Letting these wallets and your coins stake and add extra coins.
Now, you were showing me a cool site this morning. Oh my hell, I didn't even know that existed. Yeah, I'm always learning something cool. It's so exciting.
We're on a big learning curve.
Well, so let's get your thoughts then on some of the latest news here. We had China come out banning these ICOs, and a lot of people have been talking about the inevitability of that this is going to happen. And their governments are going to crack down on these ICOs because a lot of these companies have been scams, and it's sidestepping a lot of the fees and regulations that governments have for regular companies wanting to raise money in the capital markets. And here we have China cracking down on these ICOs. We had a pretty big correction in the cryptocurrency space, but even with that, people were talking about the death of Bitcoin. Here we are recovering once again.
No way.
Yeah. Want me to go first, Rob?
Yeah.
We've done a couple videos on these ICOs, and always our videos have been as a word of caution. Because you get these companies that come up, and there's some good things about them and some things that are a little concerning. The good thing is that our industry now, all these coins in the market cap, are funding these ideas, these ICOs within our industry, we're not outside seeking those funds. We have enough money now within cryptocurrency to fund all these new ideas. That's really exciting and cool. The downside, though, is you get these ideas, and these guys write a white paper, and they come up with some strings of code, and then we throw these millions of dollars at them. Find the platform they came up with, or again, does it go back to speculation? And I think a lot of it is speculation, because some of these platforms have made people a lot of money. So our word of caution on the ICOs is just that. I mean, you know, and these guys have no recourse. We have no recourse after we give money into these. They don't have to perform. They don't have to put it into a trust fund and only take funds out when they're progressing in their platform. It's all pretty risky. But as far as the governments, go ahead. Rod used to be rambling on forever and ever.
This is one of the funnest interviews I've had in a very long time.
Whatever. Our government in the United States, they always profess that they want to protect the people. We just want to make sure you guys don't get stung. But we're going to clamp down and control this industry too. I'm not familiar with I know about what you just said about them saying the ICOs are going to be outlawed, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to come about totally. I mean, not long ago, clamped down on the exchanges. And it took a few months, but they came back on board. They set a few regulations in there, and it seemed like everything was cleared up and fine. I think the ICOs, some of these governments are just running scared right now. I mean, they see a lot of money coming into it.
And it ain't theirs.
Well, that's just it. I mean, I could see them publishing pamphlets maybe as cautionary to the people that invest in these things. It's like, hey, do your homework. But to sit there and tell me I can't spend my money where I want, I just think that's a little ridiculous.
Especially when it's crypto money. It's money that they don't
recognize as being real damn money.
I know. That's what the heck? I don't know. I don't know what the hell is going on. Those stupid people. But all they see is all this money floating around. So, well, I got to have some. I got to have some control over it.
Yeah.
Well, that's one good thing about crypto. There is no control. Hopefully, they know they don't get it either. That's what mainly got me into it. Mm. I was wanting to decentralize, get the freaking government and the banks out of it.
Yeah. So, Ken, I don't know what the answer is to this, but I think we're going to see it progress more.
Absolutely.
The FEC's made some regulations, but people always seem to skirt it. You know, there's some web hosting channels that can give you an IP address out of the country if you really want to get involved in some of these ICOs. We'll just have to wait some more time and see where it heads.
Okay, well, this kind of lends itself to the next question. And a lot of people are concerned about a lot of these other cryptocurrencies, these altcoins, who some of them are straight up scams and others are very legitimate. Many people like them, but they still get a lot of scrutiny. And from what I've seen, a lot of the credibility still comes back to Bitcoin being the most immutable, the strongest network, and just the one that had this longest history and the hashing power. And, Trace Mayer talks a lot about the benefits of Bitcoin and the concerns of even something like Ethereum or some of these other ones. But I'd like to get your thoughts on that. Is, let's say, a crackdown in the ICO market maybe bad for other cryptocurrencies and good for the gold standard of the cryptocurrency market, Bitcoin?
I don't think so. I don't think it'll hurt it at all. Even if they banned the ICOs, like in China, and the Bitcoin does survive, or the altcoin does survive, and get online and in the blockchain, and I think it'll go. But you still got to be cautious. My thought was, I hate growing old. I lose my train of thought. I have these brain farts. You know what I mean? They just kind of go in there and they.
You touched on a couple things, Ken.
I did.
One was the power of Bitcoin. And Rod and I agree with that. You know, sometimes you can dabble in some of these alts speculatively to make some profit. But if you really back up and look at it and look at the percentage of growth in Bitcoin on your money invested and some of these altcoins, and when they lag, I mean, look at all the popular ones. You got Ripple, you got NAM, you got Ant shares or now Neo. I mean, they're all hovering around there, and they've made some growth. But percentage-wise, if your money was in Bitcoin, you'd have made more money.
Absolutely.
So Rod and I always call Bitcoin the granddaddy of them all, and a lot of times we catch ourselves saying, well, yeah, the speculative part on this altcoin coming in might be good, but we know it's a for sure damn bet if we stay in Bitcoin. And so, yeah,
and we're at the age now where we don't do a lot of speculating, trading and stuff, but we mainly put our stuff in, going to be there and be solid. And because I'm at the age now where I only got another 20 years max, you know. So I got to make sure.
We'll see about that.
Maybe sooner. So I got to make sure my money's not in there.
He can barely walk in the door anymore.
You know that old, you remember when I was a kid your age, I'd be looking at old people that do these shuffle. Hell, I'm doing the shuffle now. Your day will come.
But, man, wow.
You're exactly right. And I don't know if we answered that all the way. We're pro Bitcoin all the way. And there's some other ones that are really solid. We did a whole video on trashing Charlie Lee a little bit on Litecoin. But we're still invested in Litecoin. We think their platform's got some growth coming, especially now they're talking about putting that new side chain on it to where it'll be similar to Ethereum, where people can build their platforms on top of Litecoin. Some good solid coins, but there's over 800 altcoins. I mean, come on, you know that not all these are going to survive the test of time. So that's why, again, going back to the ICO, cautionary, it's like, how we throw 20 million at one of these coins, and it's a gamble. You don't know if they're going to perform, and so anyway.
I like ICOs that are based on like Ethereum. Ethereum is their blockchain attachment. They're usually pretty legit and straight up. They don't make as money as fast, but want something solid there, that's what I go for.
But again, the percentage of growth, it's been in Bitcoin for us.
Yep, it has been.
So when we get our $200 working, most of that 200 is in Bitcoin.
Oh, you put 200? Oh, hell, I only put 50.
Well, there's a lot to be said about Bitcoin, and it's so fascinating, especially considering Bitcoin is the oldie but the goodie, and in the sense that in technology, it's normally not the case where the first one that comes around ends up being the best one. Usually it takes a little bit of reworking and fixing and doing this and that to it. But Bitcoin was done in such a way that it's proving itself, and it's continuing to be the go-to. And even Ethereum has its criticisms where people will say it's not fully immutable, and there's no cap on the amount of Ethereum tokens that will ever be created, and some of these other things. But Bitcoin comes around, and it's still that that gold standard for the digital currency space. And maybe you disagree with that, but just any follow-up comments.
Ken, Bitcoin has the name recognition worldwide. If I went into, and we went over to overstock.com, Salt Lake City, Utah, where we're from, and they have a Bitcoin ATM in their lobby. So we wanted to go over there and play around with that and kind of experience it. But we talked to a lot of people, and those that we asked, have you ever heard of cryptocurrency? It was always a blank stare.
Yeah.
But those who asked, have you heard of Bitcoin? Well, sure, yeah, I've heard of that a little bit. And that's kind of the true with all these countries around the world. Bitcoin has the name behind it. When they talk about doing any kind of regulations or accepting exchanges, it always centers around Bitcoin, which again gives us more credence to what we're saying. That is the granddaddy of them all. And not that Ethereum is not going to overtake it, maybe in the market cap or some places. Bitcoin's not going anywhere, we don't believe. We think that's it.
No. Didn't Litecoin fork off of Bitcoin? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. In you look at the stock market, total market cap, or the bond market, you're talking about asset classes in the trillions of dollars. And I haven't checked it as of lately. I know it was like $150 billion market cap for the cryptocurrency, and obviously it's gone crazy in the last 12 months, but it's still very early in terms of a total size of an asset class. And really, if we start to see institutional money come in and just the big money really enter this space, and this is something I believe, it's got to go into the trillions of dollars. And that's, what, a 10x or less than a 10x now. It was a 10x a month ago or a few weeks ago when it was a $100 billion market cap. But so what are your thoughts on that? The big money entering the space in a big way.
It'll jump. It'll get into the trillions real quick. I think by next year, it may be up there. I mean, I got a lot of faith in it.
There's a new exchange out, relatively new, last month or so, and we did a video on it. I can't remember the name of it now, but this exchange only has, I think, 3 or 4 coins in it, and it's specifically for the big money boys outside of crypto coming in. Remember that exchange?
Yeah,
and I've kind of lost track of it since then. But this is right knocking at the door too, or all these. You can just see it in the news. Bitcoin and crypto is being talked about in mainstream news pretty regular now, more so than it was a couple months ago. And now we have people that have noticed Bitcoin and crypto, they're larger than a lot of companies and countries that have been around for years. So I think the big money is going to come into it. If you can make, okay, here's an example. My son-in-law, at his work, he's got a guy who's always harassing about Forex, currency. What do you call Forex? Ken, help me out with this.
Money.
Currency trading. Okay. Forex is the platform they do currency trading, whether it be the yen or all those currencies.
Sure.
Well, my son-in-law every day is showing him, in the Forex market, he's hardly made any money percentage-wise. And my son-in-law, man, every day it's, 10, 20, 30% increase. So this kid has now jumped into crypto. And this is just an example of what's coming because there is money to be made here. And if there's that kind of money, those big boys are going to get into it. And we see that happening today. Yeah, in the news.
Ripple. I mean, the banks took on Ripple. And also Neo now, I think they're coming out. NEM, yeah. They're also taking on NEM. So, the banks even want to get in on it.
In their own blockchains and some of that stuff. There's one right now. One of the five of the biggest banks are trying to create their own cryptocurrency. As they see this is the future. This is where we're headed, kind of.
Yeah, it is.
So one of the things that I've been trying to wrap my mind around is the future of blockchain and what it will mean and where it's heading. And I just want to throw that out there to you guys. Is it going to just be surrounding money, or is there going to be other uses for it?
We think there's a lot of companies that are getting into blockchain. I mean, that's the workings of it. That's how it works. The whole crypto industry is built on blockchain. And if a company can find a good blockchain to get into, then everything's transparent. Isn't that right?
Well, we're not the experts on blockchain, but it's just a ledger, Ken. It just keeps track of transactions and ledger type things. We've just recently read an article about the top 50 companies in the world. 50% of them are looking at blockchain technology. And 75% of that 50% said by the end of 2018, they will have instituted blockchain into their companies. Walmart is even looking at it. In the chicken industry, they're using blockchain now to truck their chickens nationwide. Same with the cattle, and I mean, everybody's getting Toyota's into it, Samsung's into blockchain. The big companies see how this can speed their process up, and yet it's perfect ledging, meaning you can audit it anytime. It's always recorded, exact. There's just a lot of advantage to it. And we're not the experts on blockchain. We have a real small understanding of it, but we can see people, even governments are getting to it. The UN, we just read an article on the UN, was looking at blockchain. And our country is looking at to do visas, your visa to get out of the country and stuff. I mean, it could be used for all kinds of things. Uber, that taxi company's looking at it. Yeah. So, no, it's out there. And the growth will be phenomenal here in the next couple of years on it, I'm sure.
Absolutely. That's what it's all based on. I think it's the only way to go.
Yeah. You know, I think it's one of those things that is technology in general, it's just such an amazing thing. But when it comes to what we have now with blockchain, it's something that not even the Jetsons could have fathomed or wrapped their mind around. It came about in one of those things that would just completely revolutionize people's ideas of what money could be, and it makes me really optimistic of what we'll eventually see in the future. So really exciting developments in the technology space, and just really exciting for money in general. So we're at about that time, guys. I want to thank you for both coming on the show with me here at Crush the Street. I'd like to give you guys both a couple minutes here to say some last words and just your advice for people here in 2017 moving forward, whether it's with cryptocurrency or investments in general.
I'll start off here. My thoughts. Thank you for having us. You're really good. And be sure to give a thumbs up over here to this guy, man. He did a good job. I appreciate him. I think that if you invest, if you're cautious, if you're starting out like we were, old guys, if you're elderly, if you're cautious, invest in Bitcoin. You don't have to, and what I keep telling people when I meet them that are my age, my friends and stuff, is that even though the coin itself is freaking $5,000, you don't have to put in $5,000. You can buy just a piece of it. I tell them, just like me, I put every time I get paid my Social Security, I put in $50. Hell, that $50 just keeps growing. I'm made a lot of money just using $50 every month or two. I have put in a little more than that, but not too much. But still, it's the best thing going right now.
It is. And thanks for having us. We'd like to invite all your listeners to flip over to our YouTube channel and see what we're about over there. We don't know it all. In fact, we don't hardly know anything. But it's like we talked earlier in the interview. This is just at the cusp of this thing taking off. I don't know. There's a lot of YouTube and information out there. Be cautious, but I don't think I'd hold back. It's time to get into this. Just because you see 5,000 Bitcoin, like Rod said, it's still going to go. So it's still a good time to get into it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
By next year.
By next year?
Yeah, by next year.
Time out here. Rod, the other day, we were doing something on one of our own videos, and Ron said, "Well, this will be to that twice in the next 2 weeks." I said, "Who are you kidding? It was there in 4 days." So when he makes a prediction like that, I'm going to listen.
Yeah. Well, there's no time in history where people weren't saying, are we in a bubble? I mean, Bitcoin, $30, people were worried about the run up from 1 to 30, right?
So you can't get a bubble with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, hey, I want to thank you for coming on with me at Crush the Street here. I'd love to have you guys on in the future. Everyone, the Crypto Bit Brothers.
And thank you.
Thank you very much.